So moved. In.
Oh my. Well, he already run it.
Yes, thank you. Commissioners Martin,
Here.
Salwan, Ariola, Zink, Fugazi, Morowit,
Here.
Chair Zuber,
Here.
Chair Craig Hensley. Here. Ex officio members, do we have anyone on from Stamcog?
Suze Wallen.
Anyone on from SJCOG?
Yes, Kim Anderson.
Thank you. Anyone on from SJRRC?
Yes, good morning, Ken Baxter.
Thank you. Anyone on from Caltrans? All right, and I do see that Commissioner Salwan has joined. Are you there with us?
Present.
Thank you. We do have orders.
Thank you, I appreciate that. And if we can move now to public comment on any non-agenda items. Do we have anyone online that is interested in making public comment?
Seeing none online.
Thank you. Anyone in the house that is interested in making public comment? Seeing none, we will move on to the next item of business, and that is consent calendar. Is there anyone on the commission that would like to pull any items for discussion or vote on separately?
If there's no public comment, all in consent.
Second.
Okay, any public comment on non-agenda?
Seeing none online.
And none in the room? Okay, so we have a motion, yes.
Did you want to note that we will include in the ridership a comparison?
Certainly, thank you. Yeah, so I just made a comment earlier to Stacy to put a pre-COVID line item on ridership to give us a good measurement of where we are in relation to where we have been prior to COVID. So that was it. So
And that will come back to you.
thank you, I appreciate that. Okay, with that in place, we have a motion to approve and a second. Can I get a roll call?
Thank you. Commissioners Martin,
Aye.
Salwan,
Aye.
Morowit,
Aye.
Vice Chair Zuber,
Yes.
Chair Craig Hensley.
Yes.
Thank you. Motion passes.
Okay, we're moving on to our first action item, number 5, to adopt a resolution adopting fiscal year 25-26 for program and operating budget. And Mr. Lupari, you have a presentation for us.
Yes, good morning, Chair and Commissioners. Over the past several meetings, we've provided various presentations leading up to today's action, but I'll give a little brief overview for the benefit of the public as well as the commissioners. So every year, the Rail Commission adopts a work program and budget, which includes the operating and capital budgets for all of the Rail Commission activities, the ACE activities, as well as the other enterprises that are underneath your authority. And we do this annually, and it provides the budget authority for all of those enterprises for the fiscal year. We've gone through a few different presentations related to this, to the document that was included in the packet. We provided in May a kind of a comprehensive narrative overview of all of the individual chapters and work that the agency plans for this upcoming fiscal year that we are in now. And then in the June meeting, we provided a draft of the document that included all of the budget tables for the various enterprises as well as for the capital program, and provided a little bit more of an overview of those budget items as well. And then today, included in your packet is the final work program budget that we will be asking for you and recommending that you adopt. But before we get there, I do want to provide an overview of some of the items that have changed from the draft to the final. So in the capital section, there were some narrative updates that were made to the various language around the capital program. And most of this was for readability and brevity, but it really didn't change the spirit of the chapter itself. Then there were also some capital budget updates. So there were some decreases for a few Valley Rail items where the capital team, in evaluating the schedule of those projects, felt that we're still going to be in design during this fiscal year. But if, as Christine mentioned in her presentation, if design finishes quicker and we can get more work done, then we'll come back to you for a budget amendment. We also added a few small projects, one on the A side that extended into this fiscal year, though we anticipated it being completed, and that's the Wayside Power Project, and then a project on the SJRRC side that we now anticipate perhaps we'll have some activity in this fiscal year. And then just for clarity purposes, we moved the Newark Albury siding project into the Valley Rail section of the document, which is where it's meant to be, as it is a key project for the Valley Rail program. On the operations side, we added a couple of pages right in front of the budget tables towards the end of the document. Those were meant to assist in communication and understanding of, we bring this document to you, the Rail Commission, but well, why are there tables in this document that cover other activities? And so the narrative is meant to help provide an overview, so that the public understands, well, what is all that is under your authority, and how are those split up, as well as delineated, so that funding and revenues and costs for each of those enterprises are kept in their appropriate bucket. So not only is there a narrative, but there's also a diagram that we created that includes a new term that we'll be using, which is rail support services, which is in the far right of that diagram. Actually, it's on the next slide. That describes all of the other things that the Rail Commission is doing outside of SJRRC and its primary service, ACE. There's some slight updates in the operating budget tables. You can see them delineated here. They're really just small, minor changes. Actually, in the end, it's like a 1% adjustment from draft to final. So really close on the draft, and just want to make sure that like little small things like the estimates for computers and things like that are appropriately marked into your final draft. This is the budget table that or the sort of diagram that I mentioned, just sort of really helping illustrate what is the Rail Commission's primary responsibility, what's included in its budget line items, as well as for SJRRC, ACE, and then on the far right, you see RSS, or Rail Support Services. These are things that we've been discussing, and a lot of things that Jordan, our equipment superintendent, mentioned, like during his presentation about overseeing the state equipment maintenance, as well as Megan providing the Track C presentation. So that really kind of falls into that bucket. And with that, if there are any questions, if there are any questions on the final before requesting your approval.
Questions from commission members? Any questions from commission members online?
Seeing none.
And I apologize for not being at the last meeting where there was a more thorough review, so just one or two questions. And I did get a clarification from Stacy earlier. I think on the capital projects in particular, anticipating that we actually do have under the 25-26 budget, the funding available to move those forward. Some of these are multi-year, so they will be moving forward with what is expended in this 25-26 year, correct?
That's right. So what is in this document is what we anticipate spending in 25-26. And so many of those projects, as you mentioned, are multi-year. So that does not represent the project budget, but what we're asking for expenditure authority.
That year,
Yeah.
okay. Because it is a very robust list of activities going on. I was amazed about how your team gets so much done with so few staff, but at the same time, great momentum. So just appreciate that. The other question I did have, if you can go back to slide.
Sure.
The rail support services, obviously, I see administrative under ACE. When we have received funding from the state or via federal government funding on grants, are we tracking the administrative expenses towards those grants? And then we have separate expenses that just aren't covered by those grants. Do we do a breakout of that so that we understand how much staff time is spent grant related versus non-grant related funding?
Yeah, and really this is like, actually this diagram is meant to sort of illustrate that in the way in which the Rail Commission and its administrative function provides provides the manpower for all of these activities. But the funding for those specific jobs and those specific duties are funded by those specific activities. So on the SJRRC side, though, the Rail Commission, including myself, are working on the San Joaquins. I'm coding my time, and my time for that activity is paid for by the state of California through the funding for that activity. The same on the rail support services side. Those activities are logged in our timesheets, and then those activities are paid for through either the funding from the state for those activities or the funding for the grants, like in the case of track C for those activities. And as far as my understanding is, we don't have any areas where we're running a deficit and then covering those activities.
Okay, because that was something, having been in the private sector, we were always counting for every hour of our time. To
Yeah.
a project that was funded by whoever the project proponent was for the grant source. So that's just something I think that helps with clarification about that. So that's all I have. So at this point, do we have any public comment online?
Seeing none online.
Okay, and any in the room? Oh,
Public
sorry,
comment?
yes.
So I understand just how important capital projects are, which is why I didn't include it twice.
That's right. Yeah.
In case you missed it the first time, we did it the second time. Yeah, but that's just a note that I made, that people do actually read this stuff. Pages 5 and 7 were duplicated.
Yeah, we'll amend that before posting it to the website.
Mariah will be thrilled the document is.
Yes,
recorded.
she will. She will, very much so. Yeah.
Oh,
That's what.
thank you. For that, I appreciate it. Okay, yes, so we do, we want to be done.
And I
So,
appreciate the tremendous amount of time and effort that you put in, so thank you very much.
Yeah, it really is a team effort. You've seen a lot of us up here, like over the course of the past few meetings. And then even people who are behind the scene, as Stacy mentioned, Mariah, who sort of makes it look pretty so that we all like have an enjoyable document to read. So it's really a team effort.
yeah, I think it really helps people understand who we are and what we do and what we've accomplished, because it's pretty, it's a good narrative that goes along with it. So appreciate it very much. So, all right, if no more comment, I'll accept a motion to approve. And a second.
Second.
Moved and seconded. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Oh, you need to roll. Sorry, yes. My apologies. I'm used to a button that I hit, but yes and no, we're staying, so, okay, go ahead.
Thank you, Commissioners Marchand,
Yes.
Salwan,
Aye.
Morowitz,
Yes.
Vice Chair Zuber,
Yes.
Chair Craig Hensley.
Yes, thank you, thank you. All right, so we'll move on. The document authorizing the director or designee to submit and execute any and all agreements, certifications, so forth and so on. I mean, agreement.
It's good for.
I apologize about the very lengthy title. Good morning, Chair Craig Hensley. Sure. The Southern Alameda County Integrated Rail Analysis, which we refer to as the SoCo Rail Study, was led by the Metropolitan Transportation Commission, which goes by MTC. MTC partnered with a number of different agencies for this effort, for this planning effort, and Rail Commission was one of those agencies it partnered with. The SoCo Rail Study really built upon the foundation of the 2018 California State Rail Plan. And in that integrated state rail plan, they did identify an East Bay hub, which was to be located somewhere in Southern Alameda County. The SoCo Rail Study concluded that the East Bay hub would be a rail-to-rail connection between BART and ACE at the Union City BART station, and that this project, which was estimated to have 3 additional new ACE round trips, which would be intercity ACE round trips, 2 of which would connect with high-speed rail at Merced. This was included as a midterm project in the draft 2023 California State Rail Plan. This project has been referred to as the Union City Intermodal Station Phase 3 project. The Rail Commission worked with the City of Union City to secure $3.5 million needed for the next phase of that project, which was the environmental review process and preliminary engineering. Alameda CTC provided $3 million to Measure BV funding, which were approved in early 2024, and then the Rail Commission signed an agreement with Alameda CTC on April 3rd of 2024. The Rail Commission and the San Joaquin Joint Powers Authority then also in 2023 took action to put in $250,000 each in SRA funds, state rail assistance funding, as a match to the Alameda CTC funding. The San Joaquin Joint Powers Authority is a partner with us on this because the additional the new 3-round trips that are proposed as part of this planning effort, those would be intercity trips. And so that's where the San Joaquin Joint Powers Authority came in as a partner. The Rail Commission approved the Mark Thomas contract as the consulting team to take on the environmental and engineering work. And that was approved in September of last year. And then the work with Mark Thomas consultant contract began in November. The 2024 final California State Rail Plan, which actually was released in early 2025, had a significant change in it in regards to this extension of ACE to Union City, where before it was a midterm project. The final plan actually has it as a long-term project. Instead of being implemented within the next 10 years, as a long-term project, it wouldn't be implemented for at least 11 to 25 years. In addition, MTC also basically demoted the Union City Extension project in their Plan Bay Area 2050 from a midterm project to now it's also identified as a long-term project. And as a result, the Rail Commission and the San Joaquin Joint Powers Authority, to be consistent with the State Rail Plan and with Plan Bay Area 2050, also in our 2025 work program and in the San Joaquin Joint Powers Authority 2025 business plan, also made this project a long-term project in our plans. Shortly after we started the Mark Thomas contract in November 2024, our staff, we gave a stop order to the Mark Thomas team because we needed more time to assess priorities for the Valley Rail program and really to determine whether or not to recommend we move forward with this work or not. Rail Commission staff have concluded that it is premature to environmentally clear the Union City extension of ACE. And this is because it's now expected to be a long-term project and most likely would not be implemented until sometime after 2040. We believe that the Rail Commission really needs to focus its financial and staff resources on delivering near-term and midterm Valley Rail expansion projects. And in addition, our coordination with UP also really should focus on near-term and midterm projects. We do recommend that the Rail Commission and the San Joaquin Joint Powers Authority take action to reallocate the SRA funds that have been allocated for this effort, and also that the Rail Commission work with Alameda CTC to terminate the agreement for the $3 million Measure BB funds. In addition, we also recommend that the Rail Commission terminate the contract with Mark Thomas for the Union City Intermodal Station Phase 3 effort. So for financial impact, the Rail Commission would be able to repurpose $250,000 in SRA funds for other purposes subject to Rail Commission approval, and then would also rescind the $3 million in Measure BB funds from Alameda CTC. We are recommending today that you do adopt the resolution, which was in your board packet, which really takes the 3 actions: the repurposing of the $250,000 in SRA funds, the rescinding of the $3 million Measure BB funds, and the termination of the Mark Thomas contract. And I open up to any comments that you might have.
Commissioners have any questions?
No questions, but comment.
Yes, great, sir.
So, this is one of the great things about being around forever. It's originally the BART ACE connection was going to be made in Livermore. And then on May 25th, 2018, not that that date is burned in my brain, BART voted to not come to Livermore. So hence the creation of Valley Link. And what's interesting is I'm on the Alameda County Transportation Commission and voted for that $3 million. And now we're rescinding. I think it's great because a lot of people, once they get a possibility, they're hang on to that. And it's so we do all that work, and then this project could very well change, and that $3 million will have to be reallocated. So this is very forward looking. I appreciate the fact that people are thinking that, yeah, it's not worth keeping that $3 million and tying it up because we really could do good work with that $3 million. So I appreciate the effort here, and I certainly appreciate and we'll move to support this.
Any other comments from commissioners online? I just 2 questions. One is, it was interesting about premature on the environmental clearance. In some respects, How long would environmental clearance actually last anyway? Wouldn't you have to go back and redo
It-
something if
that's
it's
a-
that much further down the road?
That's a tough question to know how long, but particularly for something like this, we think that it's very likely it would be stale after a period of time because enough things change. And so there is time to, if for some reason, several years down the road, if for some reason this project needs to come back, there would be still time to do the environmental if needed. But really, so many things could change over the next several years that we feel it is just premature to move forward with
And
this.
Alameda CTC can use 3 million in whatever way they would like. They don't necessarily have to hold it for this project in 2040 or whenever. Correct.
To some extent, except for this funding does is from a pot of Measure BB funds that goes to Union City. So it's really Union City would have the ability to use this for something that's more pressing at this time.
Okay,
So it really becomes something potentially good for Union City.
we may or may not have a funded project down the road.
That's correct. They could choose to wait for a while and see what happens over the next several years, or they could, if they have a pressing need, ask Alameda CTC to repurpose.
I'm sure they'll find.
Money is short for all of us these days. Yes.
Okay, do we have any comment online?
Seeing none online.
Right, and no public comment in the room? All right, I will accept.
Move staff recommendation.
Thank you very much. And a second.
Second.
So I have a motion and a second for approval. Please do a roll call.
Thank you, Commissioners Marchand.
Aye.
Falwan,
Aye.
Morowitz,
Yes.
Vice Chair Zuber,
Yes.
Chair Craig Hensley.
Yes.
Thank you, motion passes.
Thank you. And we're moving on to item 7. We're looking at adopting a resolution for the two agreements for on-call right-of-way services for the Valley Rail Program. So.
Morning, Board of Commissioners and Chair. Thank you. Item number 7, and let me go into. There you go. The Valley Rail projects have an ongoing need for right-of-way tasks related to property acquisition and also right-of-way advisory services. And so the Rail Commission has moved forward with, or has worked toward procuring 2 contracts. One for the North region for the right-of-way services. This would be North Stockton and north of Stockton. And then one for the South, which would be the project south of Stockton. So these are on-call service contracts with as-needed services, professional and technical services provided by brokers and sellers who are licensed in the state of California through the Department of Real Estate. This ensures that the services provided are in compliance with state and federal requirements, including FTA, the Uniform Relocation Act, and the California Relocation Act. And more specifically, these services will provide negotiations on property acquisitions, deed and title research, including title reports, appraisals, relocation assistance, and negotiation on short-term leases. So I'll hand over to Autumn for the.
Thank you, Christine. In February of 2025, an RFP was released via Planet Bids, and we received 4 proposals for each region. The same 4 firms proposed on all the 2 regions. We received one from Beacon Integrated Professional Resources, Epic Land Solutions, Monument ROW, and Paragon Partners Consultants. The procurement and contracts team deemed all 4 to be responsive, and they were evaluated by our panel consisting of Rail Commission staff and contracted staff. Then we also hosted interviews and combined the scores. After combining the scores of the written proposals and the interviews, the top ranked the ranking, was provided, and it's on here on the slide. So it was Beacon Integrated Professional Resources for the South and Monument ROW for the North. So the Rail Commission project manager verified the cost proposals from both of the top ranked firm and deemed that the cost was fair and reasonable and in line with the scope. The Rail Commission will enter into separate on-call contracts with both firms. The total not to exceed for both right now is $325,000 shared between the 2 contracts, and it is no guarantee that it will be expended, but task orders will be issued as work is needed. And then the term of the contracts are for 5 years. So expenses and revenues for these contracts are identified in the current, soon to be current fiscal year operating budget. And annual costs will be brought to the board annually as part of the regular budget approval process. And so staff recommends approval of these agreements, and we would be happy to answer any questions.
Do you have any questions from commission members? Online, yeah, commission members. Okay. Do these need to be, just before I go to the public, do these need to be acted on in one motion, or because they're two separate contracts, we can do it all in one motion?
Our motion and it's one resolution.
Okay, thank you. Any public comment?
Seeing that on.
And no public comment in person. Okay, I will accept the motion to.
Yeah, you're on the road. Talks about-
He's
I'm sure
tired.
I remember how to do it. Move to adopt the resolution.
Do I have a second?
Second, Mike Morwood.
Owen, we're trying to engage. Okay, so I have a motion in a second, can I get a roll call?
Thank you. This is for regular voting members only. Commissioners Marwood,
Yes.
Vice Chair Zuber,
Yes.
Chair Craig Hensley.
Yes,
Thank you. Motion passes.
thank you, thank you. All right, moving right along. We are up to item 8, adopt a resolution amending, approving amendment of the agreement with the Union Pacific. We'll leave it at that.
Good morning again, Chair Craig Hensley and board members. So item number 8 is on the South Stockton crossovers. And so I'm going to draw your attention to the diagram that's in the lower right-hand corner. I realize it's a bit small, but the Union Pacific yard, Stockton yard, is shown kind of in the middle in red. It's that kind of diamond, like kind of triangle looking item. And the north is to your right. And the green area in the north of the yard is the Stockton Diamond. And that is the project the larger project that we're looking to finish and move into construction. But the more important part is the green part also overlaps the area where UP uses to switch their trains between the Fresno subdivision and the Oakland subdivision. And so this project will provide a crossover on the south part or the southern part of the yard, which is shown on your left, that green arrow area. This will allow UP to be able to do those crossing moves within their yard once we start and then not be in conflict with the Stockton Diamond. So in this construction of this project is a requirement for the completion of the Stockton Diamond. And it was also UP's requested support for the Stockton Diamond project. So in February of 2023, the Rail Commission entered into an agreement for $125,000. And this was for preliminary engineering services. This was just to understand the track geometry and some of the utilities, identify the utilities, understanding that we would have additional engineering and design moving forward. So now that in February of this year, UP provided the additional services for the final design and the total amount for that final design. So the amendment is for $395,000. And the scope of the work would include the signal design, the utility relocation design, and some new electrical power design. And this is to get us to final completion of the design phase, and then UP can move into the construction phase. So with that, I'll hand over to Autumn.
I would like to add a very technical phrase to this and say, currently the ACE trains get really gummed up down. So in addition to being required for the Stockton Diamond, probably Ryan Schmidt, Nathan and I would be very happy to have that not as gummed up as it is. So when they can't make moves well, it always spills over into us who comes right through that area every day, twice a day. So we are in support of this getting fixed.
Ms. Gow.
Thank you. So the amendment was handled in accordance with the Rail Commission's procurement manual and will be effective upon execution by both parties and shall continue until completion of the design phase. The procurement and contract staff have confirmed that the price of the amendment is fair and reasonable and that the additional services are reasonable and necessary. The project right now is in the capital budget and it's in the Stockton Yard South crossover project line and it's in the PDD phase, as Christine mentioned. The budget for this phase is $700,000, and if approved today, the remaining budget would be a little over $140,000. I can talk about it. The staff recommends approval of this amendment, and we would be happy to answer any questions.
Thank you, Ms. Gow. I just had a question, go back to the budget. Okay, budget remaining for phase 140,000, we anticipate that's gonna be sufficient just because we know that. We kind of got that second amendment amount for 395. Do we think we're good with that?
Christina's nodding her head yes.
I did acknowledge that. Okay, thank you. Any questions from commissioners?
Yeah, sure. I was intrigued with the BNSF Mormon Yard. What is that?
So both railroads have one of their main maintenance yards in Stockton. So we're very lucky. That's close. You have this station you're in right now. You have the San Joaquin Amtrak station that's just outside of the Stockton Diamond, like we are. And both railroads have very heavy yards right outside the Diamond on the other lines. And so we are super constrained in this area. So there's a lot of train movements through here. BNSF builds trains and sends them out from that yard.
So the Mormon Yard is
Is an actual large maintenance yard.
Okay, interesting. I was intrigued by the.
We have it all in
Yeah,
here.
okay.
So we have it all in Stockton.
Christine, good job.
Any other comments from commissioners here on?
Seeing none online,
All right, thank you. Any public comment online
seeing none online.
and in the room? Okay, I will move forward with a request for a motion.
I'll move to approve the resolution.
Thank you, and a second.
Second,
Ms. Norwood. All right.
yes.
Moved and seconded, and if we can do a roll call.
Thank you. This is for regular voting members only. Commissioners Norwood,
Yes.
Zuber,
Yes.
Chair Peck Hensley.
Yes.
Thank you. Motion passes.
Thank you. All right. Well, we have to do that rather quickly. So, we are at board member comments. Are there comments from, members of our board? No, no. Okay, is this more?
No.
Is there more with you, any comments?
No.
All right. I think I'm supposed to give comments at this section. All right, not.
Something profound.
You think you're, okay, my thought. All right, my slide, all right. This is actually on behalf of a number of us who attended the Moneta Transportation Institute Awards banquet. And by the way, I would encourage all commission members to go back and talk with your local governments, your transportation staff, because I found this to be a great opportunity I had no knowledge of. It's kind of that certification graduate program in transportation, and I was amazed. All those people that you're seeing in the slide are coming from different sectors of transportation. Whether you're talking about planning, you're talking about facilities, you're talking about operations from different agencies, not just in the state of California, but outside of the state of California. So this happens to be one of my alma maters. I went to San Jose State when I was 17 years old. So it was nice to go back to the campus, but it was a great opportunity for a number of staff. Adele was there, Christine was there, Marcus was there. And we had the chance to connect not only with these individuals who are already in the transportation field. I hope you picked up some cards because, you know, these people could come and work for Ace Rail. But also with some of the leaders. I'm telling you, you could not throw a rock and not hit either a former Caltrans or current Caltrans commissioner or director, or, I mean, everybody was there. A couple of folks who were state senators, So, really a good turnout. What a wonderful program. We were a major sponsor, so it was great visibility for us. We actually had UP sitting at our table. It was a great connection for me. I am forwarding some information from UP onto my folks because we have a big UP line running through our community. So it's good to have those contacts. Marcus did a great job. Actually, David was there before. They were presenting the day before. Is that right?
Yeah. We were all, yeah, they showed us a lot of love.
Yeah, so this was just the evening of the banquet, but we made quite an impression, I think, and I thought it was a very good investment. And really appreciated all the staff that was there. You can see all the details. We had 17 guests at the head table. We connected with a number of senators. Our brand was featured in the newsletter and social media. We had a great meeting with the board also, which was important. And so I just, again, it's one of those opportunities that if we can continue to have staff exposed to those and commission members exposed to those, I think it's a great benefit to PACE. So, and to South Key Regional Rep. So thank you again very much. I was glad and very honored to be part of that presentation. So that is my report about the report on comments. All right, on to ex officio comments. So we have Stan Coffey with us. Mayor Bowman, you want to give us what's going on? She's not there now?
She's still on.
Oh, there we go.
That's actually fun.
Okay. Oh, okay.
Sorry, thank you. Thank you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you now. Thank you.
Okay, can you hear me clearly?
Yes.
Okay, because it was very difficult. It's very difficult to hear everyone, other than the two presenters for item 5 and 6. I don't know if they spoke directly into the microphone or whatever, they were loud and clear, but everyone else, it's very difficult to hear. So I wasn't sure if you could hear me, but I have no formal reportable action or comments today. Thank you very much.
Sure, thank you. Ms. Anderson is sitting in for Diane today. So Kim, what do you want to tell us?
Thank you, Chair Craig, and I want to note that I did not call you mayor. Thank you. SJRRC has no formal comments.
Okay, thank you very much. Well, it's a quick meeting tonight. Mr. Baxter.
Yes, good morning. Yes, good morning. Ken Baxter, RTD. I have just one item I'd like to share very quickly here, that RTD and the District Attorney's Office joined forces to launch a very powerful message of awareness and hope with a One Pill Can Kill bus wrap unveiling event June the 27th. This event was well attended and speakers included the District Attorney Ron Freitas, RTD's CEO Alex Clifford, and others. This eye-catching bus wrap visual, that One Pill Can Kill, serves as a mobile warning against counterfeit pills laced with fentanyl. The intent of the event and the bus wrap is to educate and to protect our community. As District Attorney Ron Freitas shared during the event, that fentanyl is taking lives in our community and we must act with urgency. One pill truly can kill, and together we can make a difference and we can save lives. This concludes my comments and thank you very much.
And no one online can help around?
That's correct.
Okay. So we will move on to our executive director's report.
Thank you. I will be quick as always, given the other items that we have. I did want to mention, and thank you to Momo Tamaoki for getting the Japanese Consulate General to come this afternoon to the maintenance facility and take a tour and meet with Chair Craig in addition to Chair Doug Verboon of the San Joaquin Joint Powers Authority. And we're gonna swap some stories. I will note, many years ago, Brian Schmidt and I were able to meet the transport minister from Japan. And I shared this story yesterday, but we had a translator. And so he asked how many trains we ran. And at that time we were brand new and we ran 2. And so they said they run 2. And he said, oh, like two every hour or half hour. And then he said, no, to each day. And then he was so gracious. He was just such a gracious man, and he said, well, we run like 2 million, but we probably have the same challenges, whether it's. So, Ryan and I remember that with great fondness. He was just such a helpful person for us at that time. I do want to let you know that Congressman Harder has agreed to come to the next Track C graduation, so that is on the 27th. July 27th. And that is always a treat for when any of you come, when elected officials come, it's a treat for the families and the graduates. They see that, wow, the important people care about us and care about what we're doing. So thank you for those of you that make the time to any of them. And I know you can't make all of them, but I appreciate that. And we definitely appreciate the efforts to get Congressman Carter there. And I have a rule. I try not to tout things that happen here. I think part of it is I don't want to risk, the juju. But I do want to tout this because every 3 years we have a federal audit, and they pretty much scour through everything we do. And we always hope, oh, is it just the federal stuff? And they come in and they say, no, we're going to look at everything, and they do. And Autumn Gowan led the effort this year for that audit with a lot of help from teams in the fiscal department, the HR department. So many departments had to help, but Autumn spearheaded that effort, herding all the cats in advance, because a lot of us want to wait to the last minute and then we go find the stuff. But she had us on a schedule in advance. Everything was ready. Everything was set. And the auditors reported out that this was one of the most prepared, cooperative, helpful teams that they've encountered with a program of this size. And so I just wanted to give a big thank you to Autumn. And we can say it. Right, they really wanted to find something, and they said, we just don't find this of entities managing programs of this size. So the complete credit goes behind me and over here, and I do want to tout that because they did a great job. And that concludes my report.
Thank you, and congratulations, yes, staff. I was very impressed as well, so, thank you. We know we have a great team, and you, through your leadership, you built a great team, so, you get some credit.
I'll take a look.
All right, Madam Attorney, I think you're moving into closed session. Do you want to announce?
We are, yes, good morning. We have 2 items on closed session. Item 12 is conference with real property negotiators. And that is for property located at 1155 3rd Street in Oakland, Alameda County. And negotiating parties are Stacey Mortensen, Executive Director on behalf of the agency, and Laura Wright and Thomas McCoy for the seller's pricing terms are under negotiation. Item number 13 is a closed session item for public employment recruitment, one position, the executive director, chief executive officer position. And that is conference with myself and consultant Brent Ives with the commission pursuant to government code section 54957. And with that, we are adjourned to closed session.
Thanks.
session, and you know what, I'll go.
Emily's back in for closed session.
Oh, okay. I think you have to enable it. It went off. It says it's off. As long as they can hear me. I don't
You just need to be
care.
picked up by the mic.
Yeah.
That's fine.
You don't.
Oh, good.
Okay, you're on.
Yes, you're.
Don't touch the buttons.
Don't touch it.
All right, I won't touch, I directed not to touch anything on the iPad. Okay. We have returned from closed session. And we had, as noted, 2 items. The first item being discussion with real property negotiators regarding property located at 1155 3rd Street in Oakland. That item was discussed and then direction given to staff. At this time, there is no other reportable action. And item 13, which was closed session, public employment recruitment. And that item was discussion only. And again, at this time, no other reportable action. And with that, Madam Chair, that concludes my report from closed session.
Thank you. With that, we will adjourn this meeting until August 1st at 9:30 a.m. on our next schedule. Thank you all very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you all online.
Introduction.